The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Welcome to the 18th of September. We only have a few more days till the end of the world. As you know, if you've seen anything on the internet, there's another one that's saying that September 23rd, 2 days after the September equinox, is going to be the end of the world due to biblical forecast. Now, I don't know if that's if that's going to happen or not, but if it should happen, what will happen to trigger all this is it will get in the middle of the day. It will get dark right over the temple in Israel. So if that happens, say your prayers. Anyway, we lived through a whole lot of these over the past time, from the old harmonic convergence, the Mayan one, and all the others. But when you read these things, folks, they're there to scare you, and believe me, they do scare some people. So I hope you folks can hear me. Wow, I hope. We'll see if this is even working or not. I don't know. Anyway, we'll see if this is working. Let's hope that it is. There we go. Sorry, boys and girls. Make sure we get this up and running here. Anyway, we start the show with the DAX like we usually do. And as you can see, I posted the one for the DAX daily, and you can see there's a lot of resistance, up into that area. Now, if we go to the smaller time frame as what's happened today, you'll notice here in the DAX that after we had that big run-up, that completed a perfect ABCD expansion up there at the 1.618, just absolutely spot on. And then it's, backed off to a 61% retracement of the daily range. But you'll notice when it opened this morning, it quickly ran from 12,530 to 12,610, without even, backing off. And that's a tremendous run. Then it goes sideways for a little bit, and then backs off, just a little bit. Anyway, we've got a lot of things to cover today. We're going to have our good friend Norm Winsky on tomorrow. He's up and running. He has water. He has electricity. He has a lot of knowledge, and he's going to share that with us tomorrow. The first question that we've had over the weekend is about a stock that I have zero interest in, but the whole world likes it, and that is Bitcoin. I just want to bring the pattern up here, to let you folks take a look at it. It trades pretty nice technically. We've had a 35% drop down from the bottom. Look where we stopped, folks, exactly at $3,000 a share, which was, spot on, the 61% retracement of the low, way back in on July the 16th. That was a perfect 61% retracement, and it's also an ABCD structure on the way down. This basically tells me there's a whole lot of people interested in Bitcoin, because these patterns work really good whenever you have a lot of people interested in it, because somehow it gives an idea of the psychology behind some of these things that are going on. Okay, let's get on to the real puppy, and that is the stock market. So here's what I did over the weekend. I tried to figure out, okay, what could possibly, be doing this. We look at the chart that I was looking at here, which is the Bradley model. And so I said, well, this is the Bradley model. I had to give it about 3 days, and that ended last Thursday. This is Monday. We're already above 2,500. We've completed another ABCD expansion up here in the Dow Jones, so we've gone past that. The only other thing that I can see is that if we inverse this pattern, then we could be going up into October 2nd. Folks, that's only 2 weeks. I mean, if a market that's been going up forever, 2 weeks is really not very much. If we look at it on a reverse, in other words, the inverted model, you're going to see that it could certainly do that without any trouble at all. Now, let me give you a tiny bit of history about the Bradley model. First of all, I've always been a little skeptical about the astrology, even from the time when I was at Drexel, when Lady Mary Rivers came in and did all that silver trading where she had 19 trades in a row. Those were trades that lasted a day to 2 days, and basically she was buying in a bull market. And believe me, that was a bull market from 1976 through 1980 in silver. She was buying whenever the moon went into Scorpio. That was a bullish sign. And if you went back and looked at it, it does have a positive expectation. About 55% of the trades will work. But when you're in a major bull market, they work just because the market's going up. The reason why I got interested in astrology was because Dr. Miller had gone to my grandmother's restaurant there in Terre Haute, Indiana, and left a little message with my aunt, who owned the restaurant now, and she sent me the little note, and it said, Larry, soybeans were going to go off the board. This was August, that August beans would go off the board around, I forget the exact price, I wish I had kept the piece of paper, at around $5.75 per bushel. And so at that time I was doing expert witnessing, and I really wasn't doing any trading. I was going through a divorce, so I spent most of my time doing expert witnessing, and it kept me very busy. But I kept up with my charts because I did a little consulting. I did no trading at all during 1986. And then what happened was I looked at my charts one day, and I noticed that little piece of paper stuck to my computer, and I said, wow, that came within 2 cents of the exact price, and she sent this to me 6 weeks previously. So I called her up, and I did not know Ruth very well. She's a PhD in economics at Indiana. I knew her husband, John, and her son, Terry, because I hedged all the soybean and corn crops when I was at Drexel. That was one of my larger accounts. They had a 2,000-acre farm, and they did a lot of speculation along with that. And John had passed away, and Terry was running the business, so I was in contact with him. But I'd not had much contact with Dr. Ruth. I knew who she was, and I met her once or twice, but not the same contact that I'd had with the family. And she says, I found something related to these Fibonacci numbers that you like that is related to astrology, and I think you should really see it. And so she said, why don't you come down to Sarasota, Florida, during the holiday right before Thanksgiving? And he said, I'll show you what I have. So I had pretty much nothing to do, and so around the 1st of November I took off and I went down to Sarasota to work with her for a week. I spent 5 weeks, and she showed me all these things. The first thing she showed me was the Bradley model, and that was only 1 year that Bradley did this. He did it during the year of 1947. He wrote the book in 46, and his prediction for 47 was nearly perfect, and yet the book never sold anything. It was only $4, and it was, I forget the name of the, I'll remember in just a second, the name of the press company that printed it, but now they're selling these things for some ridiculous price, but it basically was a way of looking at cycles. We're going to take a little break. I'll finish up the story, and I'll get back on what I think is probably happening to the stock market. 877-927-6648.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profile So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find The Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I was talking about how I got interested in the Bradley stock market model and astrology with Dr. Ruth Miller. And what I'd like to do, anyway, she showed about the Bradley model. Fortunately, you know, my friendship with Jim Twentyman goes back 50 years, and, you know, he had all the data that we needed. And we had the astrology data from the Bradley model. So we had Neil Michelson from Astro Computing down in San Diego, who had been one of my customers at Drexel. I asked him, I said, can you give us all these dates? You know, the exact dates. And so we matched up the dates, you know, with the Bradley model, and we saw that there was a tremendous amount of correlation between these. It wasn't perfect, but we noticed that on the major Bradley dates, you usually had something pretty big happen, and some years it was just absolutely perfect. It was almost like magic, but that only happened about 40% of the time when it was totally perfect. But, you know, if we take a look at what's happening right now, and we'll just look at the inverted model, that's the one with the red thing on it. Go back to August the 8th, folks. Remember we had the solar eclipse up in there. That was a lunar eclipse, sorry. You'll notice that the market topped on that point. It was supposed to be a bottom, but it actually topped. And then you can see the market came down, and then it's been going up ever since, which could be the reason for what's going on right here. I don't know if people ask me if I think the stock market is manipulated, and folks, I don't really believe that. I mean, I 100% don't believe it because there's no reason to. There's just too many people to it. I mean, it's a much smaller market than the rest of the markets, like the bond market and, of course, the foreign exchange market. But I don't believe that it can be, you know, manipulated to some extent, like on expiration Friday, like what we had. You know, the market jumps just on options expiration, but you know, that's neither here nor there. But if we keep an eye out of what's going on right now, is that we should be coming into this high, which is around October the 4th or 5th. And that's going to be interesting because that was the anniversary date of where the market crashed. It started down on October the 6th of 1987. That was a Friday. The market was down. Oh no! It was that was the 16th is when we finished the crash. But before that crash had started on the 5th of October, and then it ended on October the 19th, which was the greatest buying opportunity since 1982. And if you went back and looked at your long-term charts in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, you'll notice that the low on October 20th of 1987 was an exact 61% retracement of the low that we made back in 1982 on August the 9th. It was within 10 points of the Dow, and I believe the Dow ended at 1680, something like that. And then the next day it made a slightly lower low right after the opening by just a few seconds, and then it started the big rally that has continued to this day, and we are still going up. Anyway, that's what I'm looking at. Frankly, it could turn at any time, and the reason why I say that is all of these patterns have pretty much completed. They've exceeded a little bit, but that's not unusual because, fear is easier to determine than greed. Greed is something that is very complacent. So I don't know if this is the top or not. I know this is the top. I just don't know if it's going to come in now or 2 weeks from now. So that's the bottom line. I was surprised we got above 2,500 in the S&P, but I get surprised a lot. So pay particular attention to that. There again, that is my opinion of what I think is happening. So when the market is finished, and it will be finished someday, it's going to tell you, and we will be there for the ride. I don't know. I just have to be patient and see what the next thing is happening. Now let's switch over for a second here to talk about one of the markets. Oh, one other question there. One other thing I wanted to mention, and I feel quite strongly about this one. This is the chart of Apple. It's the weekly chart of Apple going back when it 2011. If you remember, in 2012, it gave back well over 50% of its value to get down there around that 58 level. I remember this thing is split, but we've made a beautiful three-drive pattern. If you look at these, the one between 2012 and 2015 was a 1.618 expansion, and then the market gave back about 61% of its gain. And then if you look at from 2015 to where we are right now, again, that was 1.618 of that move. So that's a pretty big indicator of what we're looking at here. And if we break this down just a tiny bit and go in to look at the smaller time frame on the daily, well, let's just put this up so we can take a look at it here. You'll notice here that we have a hold on one second here. There we are. You can see the 1.618 on even the smaller time frame. We've got a caller from New Jersey. Victor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I just want to let you know your time frame might be right. You got the Jewish holiday starting up this week, so they normally manipulate the markets. You know what I mean?
It starts early this year?
I could have sworn it starts this week. Doesn't it start on?
I'll have to double. Yeah,
Thursday, and then the next day is on the 30th. And you said October 2nd, a correction. So there you go. They come back, they repent from their sins, and they sell the market.
Yeah, the old adage is, you buy on Rosh Hashanah and you sell on Yom Kippur, that 8-day cycle that's there. But that's very good news. I'm interested now. I did a lot of work on that Rosh Hashanah cycle. The problem is it doesn't work nearly as well as you'd think it does. It's probably just a little better than 50%. Is what we're looking at. So, yeah, September 22nd. Well, actually, September 21st is Rosh Hashanah.
Yeah.
And then you got the autumn equinox. So that could be something.
And Yom Kippur is on the 30th, and then you come back on Tuesday, and then all the big guys sell the market. Man, it makes sense. Well, and you think the Trump tax relief will make the market go up? They're saying it will.
No.
I don't know.
Victor,
Then they say the old
if
people have
nuclear
money in their
bombs don't
pocket.
make the market move, and two major Class 5 hurricanes don't make the market move, I don't know what will. So
I heard this guy saying like, the people that are older will have more money in their pocket to spend, and old people are a big part of the population. They'll have 10% more in their pocket.
Yes, we are. We whether that'll happen or not, I don't know. That biblical forecast that has been on the internet, I mean, I've had 7 or 8 people send it to me. It's basically related to some things that are written in the Bible about celestial events that occur, during this time. But I don't know if that stuff is good or not.
Well, I know there's a thing called Shemaiah. You clean out the market every 6 years or whatever, but it never happened 2 years ago like it was supposed to.
Yeah, well, that's the way it goes sometimes, but it's going to be interesting to see what's going to happen here at the equinox.
Well, you used to be a trader. You think this tax stuff is already built into the market? Because they're saying these demographics.
No, I think this is built. Everything's built into the market. What the market's going to go where it's supposed to go. There's an old the old saying.
When you're going to have a correction, there's a lot of gaps on the market left. Do you think they'll be closed?
Oh, absolutely. The first gap was 20,000 is the first big gap in the Dow. That's the main one. Hey, thanks for calling in, Victor.
Right,
I really appreciate it.
Have a good one.
You bet. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters.
If you're looking to open your portfolio to a world of opportunity, consider the new market-safe emerging currency CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 5 equally weighted currencies from Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, and Turkey at a time when experts see great potential for global growth. Even better, it features a 7.0 leverage factor, which means you could earn a potential market upside payment of 7 times the CD's performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. The September 28th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member, FDIC.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks. I want to talk just a little bit about this equinox that comes up here because most of you folks know that I really like, stuff about the pyramids, the numerology and the geometry and, the Fibonacci stuff related to the pyramids and stuff. But here in Arizona, we don't, well, I'm 72 miles from the Mexican border, and in southern Mexico, way down just south of Cozumel, is the Chichen Itza pyramid. You've seen this on anytime you've looked at any pyramids across the world, you've seen this one, but it's in the middle of a jungle. And on every time we have a autumn equinox on the 21st of September, just at noon, as the sun hits the top of the pyramid, it begins to form 45-degree right triangles. And as the sun moves from east to west, the triangles move down the pyramid, and it looks like a snake going right into the jungle. And it's just really, if you can't believe somebody built something like that, I mean, it's just flat out amazing. And I was there that day, and I didn't know there were going to be that many people there. My good friend Jim Elder, who was a second student that I ever had, and I went down there to see it. And I mean, there were so many people you couldn't believe. We had a little Volkswagen that we took down there, but most of these people that were traveling took giant, these big buses. We get there, there's about 150,000 people looking at this thing. But it was really amazing that someone could build this with such precision that it was, truly amazing. This is going back to the Mayan civilization, of course, but it was... something's out there. I don't know what it is, but we'll see. I'm going to put the chart up here of the E-mini S&P. I just want to give you, because patterns is something that I put this up here, and we'll take a look. If you go in and you Google that, you'll be able to see it. You don't have to drive down there. I think they show videos of it, but it's not an easy trip. And it's not, in fact, you have to go by bus now. You can't take a car. It's just too dangerous. But let's look at this Dow E-mini S&P 500, folks. We have a couple of beautiful ABCD patterns forming in here that ended up at 2503. Whether that's going to be a high or not, there should be some type of a correction from that level, if nothing else, because since the 26th of June, we've been able to complete one, and then we completed another one from the right after the solar eclipse on the 21st, and that ended up here. Of course, we had triple witching. It was actually quadruple witching on Friday, so we'll see. We should have a little bit of a correction from this level, if nothing else. That would be the main thing to look at. So anyway, just watch that. It's very interesting. Now, if we take a look here at the, let's look at the E-mini NASDAQ for just a second, because it's an interesting one also, because it's actually been lagging here recently, and we'll be able to take a look at it. Yes, the Mayans were great astrologers. You folks don't remember this, of course, because in 1987, on August the 25th, the Mayan calendar ended, and that was supposed to be the end of the world also. That was when we had all 5 planets in the sign of Leo, and they were all at, it was just amazing, all the stuff that was there. It was called harmonic convergence, and that's basically when the market topped on that day. That's also the day that the gentleman that did 3 Peaks in a domed house, George Lindsay, passed away on that day. Someone's asking where the Mayans are now. I'd like to tell you, Mr. P, but if I did, I'd have to report you to the CIA. So who knows where they are? I mean, we've had so many civilizations. I don't know if you folks know this or not, but we've been on this planet for at least 4 billion years. That's 12 zeros, folks. Yeah, they could be living in Tucson, Marshall. They certainly could. I think I saw a couple yesterday, but I'm not sure. By the way, we had a tremendous auto accident here on Highway 10. That's the transcontinental highway that goes from Santa Monica Beach all the way to New Jersey, and it closed that puppy for quite a while. And boy, traffic must have been backed up for 60 or 70 miles going west. It was really something. So, unfortunately, there were a few fatalities, but we'll need to say a little prayers for those folks. Let's take a quick look here at the gold market, because I think we have an interesting pattern coming up here in gold that should have a little bit of an interest. What we'll do is the accident was last afternoon, about my guess is somewhere around 4 o'clock in the afternoon is when the accident was, because I was driving by there at 8:30 at night, and around 8 o'clock at night, and it was still backed up quite a bit. I mean, it was bumper to bumper forever, and the road was closed on the other side. So it's not an easy thing when you only got one road going east to west. Okay, let's move on to this gold market here. We'll take a quick look at it. You'll notice on this 4-hour chart, the key to me was when we had the big gap down last Monday. We rallied up to a 38% retracement, and we've been heading down ever since. Now, we've been down to this first objective almost today at around 13.15. I haven't checked the prices. We're trading at 13.15 right now. This sets up a very strong probability, folks, that we're going to break the $1,300 per ounce level down around $12.99. Now, that'll set up a very interesting spot, because that's going to be right at a 382 retracement, as you can see. And also, if you'll look at it, you'll notice that that dark line that's there, that's going back and touching the old highs that we broke out above. So that's not unusual for the market to come back and touch those, especially when it does it with some patterns. And boy, we have a lot of patterns there. We've got to have several ABCD patterns right there. We're going to have a 38% retracement of the low going back to July. That in itself would be very, very interesting. And then there's one other factor that is really important. If we take the high at 1365 and subtract 2 times the harmonic number, which is 34 times 2 is 68. Am I good at math or what? See, I must have been a Mayan at one time. That takes us to, guess what? 1298. So put that one on your little quiver and your arrows and see if that comes up, because that's going to be a real interesting one. We could make that today, folks. We're only $17 away. And when gold moves, it moves pretty good. Ideally, if you're really bullish gold, what you'd like to see is this actually take about 3 or 4 more days, maybe into the equinox here on Wednesday, or no, Thursday it is. Yeah, Thursday, Wednesday, Thursday is equinox. It was Thursday, 21st. Anyway, if we watch it closely, that would really be an interesting watch. So watch the gold at 1298 in that area, because it's going to be real interesting spot to take a look at the gold market. Silver, on the other hand, has a slight uptrend here, but it doesn't have the same technical pattern, and that's not unusual because it doesn't have the same liquidity. It's 1/6 the liquidity of what we have in the gold market. So that'll be something that looks pretty interesting through this area. Okay, 877-927-6648.
If you're looking to open your portfolio to a world of opportunity, consider the new market-safe emerging currency CD from Everbank. This 3-year U.S. dollar-denominated CD gives you exposure to 5 equally weighted currencies from Brazil, China, India, Indonesia, and Turkey at a time when experts see great potential for global growth. Even better, it features a 7.0 leverage factor, which means you could earn a potential market upside payment of 7 times the CD's performance at maturity with no cap if the currencies increase in value over the CD's term. And should the opposite occur, your principal is 100% protected. Keep in mind, returns are based on CD performance. There is no annual percentage yield or periodic rate of interest on this index CD. Don't miss out. The September 28th funding deadline will be here before you know it. So call 1-855-750-4051 or visit everbank.com/TFNN for the CD's term sheet and other important product details and disclosures. This advertisement is sponsored content. Everbank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Directions Daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, so take a quick look at this Treasury bond market on an hourly chart here going over the last 5 trading days. As you can see, we rallied up to the 155.15. We've now dropped a full handle down to almost 154.18. That's a 78% retracement, folks. This is the last train from Boot Hill. So if it doesn't hold here, you know, we're heading down to that 151 level would be my next guess. Regarding Boot Hill, if those of you, a lot of you folks have been here to visit us here in Tucson, Arizona, and we live about 70 miles from Tombstone, which was in 1865. It was larger than Los Angeles, California. It was the crown jewel of the West. It was a big silver mining, and of course that was run by the Earp brothers, Wyatt Earp and his brothers. And it's a ghost town now. It's a little town, but it's not a ghost town. But they still have all the old houses there and stuff. And the miners, when they used to come down from working and spend all their money and stuff, it's really a place to go. But the cool place to go when you go to Tombstone is to go to Boot Hill. And believe it or not, when you go to Boot Hill, you're going to be totally surprised, folks, because it is a historical Jewish cemetery. I was shocked when I saw that, but that's what it was. And if you go look at the tombstones, the exact tombstones from 150 years ago, you'll be shocked. In fact, if you go online and just check, the tombstones from Tombstone, Arizona, you're going to be really surprised because there are some of them are hilarious. One of my favorites is "Here lies Lester Moore, shot 4 times with a .44, no less, no more." And they're all like that, and many of them are really very funny. I mean, it's not funny that somebody died, but the way they described it back in those days is rather funny. So anyway, let's move on to we've covered the Treasury bond market. I wanted to spend just a tiny bit of time here. 1 second here. I've got to open this up. Okay. Yes, that's right. It's really actually, folks. Let's just talk about history. There weren't many Jewish cowboys, but you folks don't realize, if you read cowboy history, 50% of the cowboys in the West were African American. Those are the ones that came out from the South, to get away from slavery, and they worked as cowboys, and that's how they made their living and made their fortunes and stuff. So it's really, it's really part of history that that we have. I mean, you don't see many statues regarding it, but if you read history, you'll see that there was a large amount of them. You don't see them in the cowboy movies, but that's Hollywood. Hollywood is not real world, but that's pretty much it. Let's take a look here at a market that is really ripe for correction, and that is the crude oil market. Let's just pull this up here. Here we go. We're right around this $50 a barrel level again every time we got up here. Now, what's interesting about this is the crude oil took out the highs from July and didn't go anywhere. It completed an ABCD on Friday, and I believe that most probably we're getting ready for some type of correction in the crude oil. I haven't checked it yet this morning, but if we can get crude oil above the 50-50 level, we're trading at 49.71 right now. That will give us a pretty good idea that we're ready to to have some type of a correction. But if we can clear $51 a barrel, that opens the door for $54 a barrel. And if you just look at the heating oil itself, heating oil has been far the strongest of these markets. And if we put it up here and take a look at it, you'll see that we've been pretty much spot on heading towards the 1.618 expansion, up about another 10 cents to the 1.89 level. We're trading at 180 right now, so that's much more bullish than the crude oil, as you can see here. The crude oil just recently on Friday took out the high from July. Look what's happened in heating oil since we took out the high in July. It's been going up almost every day. So that's the case where you want to be buying the strongest and selling the weakest, and the crude oil has been the weakest of the complex, through this time. Now, we've only got a few more minutes here, and I do want to cover the dollar index, folks, because this is the weekly chart on the dollar index, and we have been here for 3 weeks, and it's I think it's pretty important here to watch this, because we are at the exact 50% retracement of the low from 2014, and we're at the 38% retracement of the low in 2011, where our fearless leader, Tom O'Brien, coined the term King Dollar, and it went from 73 to 103, and that took 5 years to complete, actually 6 years to complete. 5.5, and now we've made the first 38% retracement in this bull market. Now, if it gets out of here, that means the euro is going to have to weaken. And the other thing is that some of these other currencies, like the pound, is also going to have to weaken, and also the dollar yen is going to have to change trend. So keep an eye on all of these, because they're all set up to do exactly that. Especially the British pound up at this 136 level. There's a lot of numbers at that level in the British pound at 136 that you should pay attention to. Now, to add all more decision making to all this stuff this week, tomorrow we have the FOMC meeting, the Federal Open Market Committee boys, and they're going to be doing their thing. They've already decided, what they're going to be doing. I don't think there's going to be any surprise at that. So the main thing is to watch how the markets react to this news. But it appears now that they're going to raise interest rates, because the Treasury notes and Treasury bonds are already telling us that on a technical basis, and maybe they changed their mind here at the end, but it looks like they were going to be looking at another 0.25% interest rate. It won't have any effect on the market, because if a nuclear bomb from Korea is not going to affect anything, then neither, and rockets, missiles going over Japan, then nothing's going to affect it. We'll see what happens, but it's not over till it's over, and it's not over. That's the bottom line. So you've got to be able to. We see a lot of signs that it's not. Well, they said there's not supposed to be a factor of raising. All I'm doing is looking at the charts, folks. That chart on the bonds and notes does not look bullish. I mean, there's just no other way to look at it. Just look. Here's the Treasury notes, which is the, this is the larger. This is 6 times larger than Treasury bonds. If you'll take a look at this, you'll see that, it's having a correction, but it still looks interesting that. What's going on. Okay, Oh, I see that natural gas is breaking out to the upside. I won't have a chance to look at that right now, but we'll take a look at that probably when we come back from the break. I don't trade that too often, but we'll take a look at it to see what it's doing. But let's watch the main one. I think for the thing to keep an eye on is the euro, folks. If we look at this euro on a 4-hour chart, and we know that high that we had up around the 121 level, that was very, very important on the weekly charts. And you notice we're set up to make an ABCD structure to the downside here around the 117.70 level. If we can get to that level, that will be interesting. There'll be a lot of resistance at that 120.40 level, in my opinion. We'll cover natural gas when we get back. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien has just announced that he'll be coming to Boston September 30th for a free workshop, The Art of Timing the Trade. Join Tom O'Brien Saturday morning, September 30th at the Boston Marriott in Burlington, Massachusetts, as he breaks down his trading methodology and provides you with the tools to become a more successful and profitable trader. Everyone that attends in person will receive a free signed copy of Tom's best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System. Daryl Martin from Apex Investing Institute will also be presenting for 90 minutes at this free event.
Hi folks, this is Tom O'Brien. Join me in Boston on September 30th as I return to my hometown for a workshop about the art of timing the trade. I look forward to seeing all the tigers and tigresses for this special free event.
All action starts early at 7:30 a.m. with a continental breakfast and wraps up at about 1 p.m. Topics that Tom will be covering during his presentation include quality volume, cause and effect, ABC structures, swing points, and much, much more. For all the information on this free Boston event taking place Saturday, September 30th, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we posted a chart of the natural gas. It is breaking out above the highs that we made during August and September. What I've done now is I'm going to go down and blow this up in a little bit, same time frame, but to see it a little bit clear. So I can look at the patterns, because I'm a little skeptical of some of these breakouts. But if you notice here, in the natural gas, we do have a 3 drive to a top pattern. Today's high so far is at the 1.27 level, but the fact that we're so strong this morning, I would not trust that. It would have to stop exactly here at the 3.14 level. Ooh, that's pi. I don't know if that means anything or not, but it also has a double ABCD at that point, so it's going to be real interesting to follow this breakout here in the natural gas, because if it does it, it's going to be above 318 without any trouble. And believe me, that stuff, when it moves really quickly. Finally, I want to talk just a second here about this Japanese yen. Last week, we focused on the importance of that 61% retracement at the 107 level. We're now trading substantially above 111. We're almost we're almost at the 78% level. As a matter of fact, we're only about 40 pips away, and we made that in 6 trading days. So we've already cleared that high of last week, which is an important spot, and that tells us this market has made a major bottom in that dollar-yen down there at the 107 level. That could be the same thing that we're looking at in that dollar index. So they could all be getting ready, to make a change here in that dollar index, because that's a 38% retracement on the long-term weeklies, and you have to respect that number because it's taken 5.5 months to make that 38% retracement. Now remember, the Canadian dollar, it made it in about 3 weeks, and that told you they were going to go down a lot more, but not with the Japanese yen. It looks a whole lot different. So watch that yen, because it's going to be interesting. 877-927-6648.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.